Jade Cargill returns and takes out Naomi. That's a hot angle to start the show with. Good luck topping that. Randy Orton returns and nearly punts Kevin Owens from out of nowhere. That's even bigger. Good luck topping the unsanctioned match Men's Chamber. And John Cena beats CM Punk to face Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. Sign point, it's 10 out of 10 so far. So let's watch that burn to the ground by finishing on a 20-minute rambling rock promo. They did it. After all these years. They finally turned John Cena heel. 22-year-old Ollie back in time. It'll be okay. They eventually do it. We all eventually legitimately get to boo John Cena because he sucks. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is my review of WWE Elimination Chamber 2025 in about 10 minutes.
Support WrestleTalk!
Before I get into the show, please make sure you're subscribed to us here at WrestleTalk and super kick notifications to always on. Luke and I will have our full podcast review of the Elimination Chamber on this very channel and all the fallout coverage from Monday's episode of Raw 2. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. The show kicked off big time with a new feud that would carry on throughout the night. Pat McAfee versus Canadians booing the US national anthem. The first actual match, though, was the Women's Elimination Chamber, where Liv Morgan and Naomi were about to lock up when Jade Cargill's music hit, marking her first appearance since being mysteriously attacked 3 months ago. And the referees and officials just, I guess they opened the door back up for her. But it doesn't matter because it was cool. Liv was initially terrified when Cargill stepped towards her, but then Jade turned at the last second and beat all the glow out of Naomi, kicking her into the pod and going full lockstock Vinnie Jones by slamming the chamber door on her head. For me, this was the best Jade has looked on the main roster, showing her vicious badass side rather than the one-dimensional look at my muscles character she's had so far. A performance that was heightened by Bianca Belair locked inside her pod, not being able to do anything, watching her two best friends kill each other. Rather than have Liv cheekily pin her, which might have been fun, Naomi was stretchered out by EMTs and declared unable to compete. So then it was time for the best part of the Elimination Chamber stipulation. The bit where all the lights cut out and it goes dun 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 for the next entrant. The f is this? I guess Def Rebel are doing sound effects now too. The chamber entrances disappointingly kept most of the normal lights on and the sound effect just went floop instead. I'm not a fan. But the work inside the ring was great, with the storyline spine of Liv versus Bianca. Belair was the next in, distracted by what just happened. She was quickly followed by Roxanne Perez, Bayley, and then Alexa Bliss. Roxanne and Bayley kept fighting, furthering their feud, but it was Liv who eliminated Bayley and Bliss who got rid of Roxanne. Morgan also eliminated Bliss, using Belair's braid to help cinch the roll-up pin. It was all about Liv versus Belair, who were the main characters of this match. They had the big angle at the start, they had the match's best spot, a horridly loud hair whip from Belair on Morgan on the top of the pod, and it came down to them both at the end with a frantic back and forth. Belair reversed an Oblivion into a KOD to win. Rhea Ripley posed behind Bianca afterwards, and Io Sky was also there to remind people she's fighting for the women's title on Monday, which she definitely won't win. I thought the tag match of Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LaRae would be 90% Tiffy time for the baby faces. So I was really impressed that Trish and Stratton pretty much shared the ring time equally. They were a good team and they won with a top rope stratisfaction and a prettiest moonsault ever on Nia. There was nothing here to build an angle for Mania, like Charlotte on the outside for Stratton or Chelsea Green getting involved with Trish. It was just a perfectly fine bit of fan service. Canada? Watch this Canadian wrestle. The Rock then got a video package showing how great The Rock is, including facts like Red Notice is the most watched film in Netflix history, 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. Moana 2 crosses $1 billion at the global box office, a Disney series that was hodgepodge together to awkwardly make a theatrical movie. And Red 1 had the most watched opening in Amazon history, but it bombed at the box office, losing hundreds of millions of dollars. The kind of point was to show all the things The Rock can do for a wrestler's career. career, like Becky Lynch getting a cameo in the Young Rock series, or Roman Reigns getting a barely speaking role in Hobbs and Shaw. So think of what he could do for Cody Rhodes. Thing is, the offer for Cody is meant to be an evil one, but The Rock seems very reluctant to be portrayed as an actual real-life heel. So The Rock was presented as a babyface here when it should have been themed as doing a deal with the devil. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's video package, however, was much better. It was tonally consistent as the bare minimum, but it also got over all of their previous betrayals and makeups, KO's determined justification, and the risks for not just themselves in this match, but their families' livelihoods as well. As someone who started watching them feud in 2010 Ring of Honor, I keep not quite believing these two are the same people telling the same near 20-long story, because it isn't. One of those people was El Generico. One of the best parts of Paul Levesque's creative reign has been restoring the importance of stipulations. This was an unsanctioned match, and Sami and KO worked perfectly to make this feel like a different kind of violence from the rest of WWE. The lighting was different, the weapon bumps more visceral, and the security and officials trying to stop it at the end made it feel more dangerous. The only thing that could have made it better was blood. But I guess they rightly wanted to save that visual for the main event angle. It made this feel like one of the most black and gold takeover matches the main roster has ever done. This felt so similar to the excellent unsanctioned Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano fight from 2018. There were chairs, a hockey stick, Sami crashing through 2 tables stacked on top of each other, loads and loads of horrible bumps on each guy's necks, 2 separate ref deaths, and another chair wrapped in barbed wire. There were so many false finishes here, not just to pop the crowd, but because the story of this match is that neither guy is going to give up until they've ended the other's career. And it was KO who was just that little more vicious. He wrapped Sami's injured neck in a chair and threw him into the ring posts. 2 pop-up powerbombs on the apron later, the move that he first turned on Sami in WWE back in 2014. KO got the 3 count. But this wasn't about winning. It was about ending Sami's career. So KO went to hit a package pile driver on Sami on the exposed concrete, when Randy Orton decided to make his return for the save. Not in the 27 minutes we've just had Owens trying to kill Zayn up until now. Randy beat up KO pretty easily and then brilliantly started to tease the punt. He was just about to hit it when the security ran in to stop him and KO escaped to the back. It's a perfect basis to their likely WrestleMania feud. The battle of 2 banned moves, the punt and the package pile driver. Stephanie McMahon got a promo for her new WWE show called Stephanie's Places, which sounds and looks like something Harry and Meghan would make that nobody wants to watch. And then it was time for the main event. But not really the main event, because The Rock's the main event. The Men's Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, who came out dressed like the purple chocolate from a box of Quality Street, started things off, which was a neat idea considering their history this year, and how they both kept going over to fight in front of CM Punk's pod like 2 sons fighting over who their disinterested dad hates the most. Damian Priest and Logan Paul followed for John Cena to be out second to last, where he went straight into his 5 moves of doom. It was so weird to hear a Canadian crowd genuinely cheer for this. Maybe we're all really Bizarro land now. But Drew's obsessions got the better of him. He claymored Cena, which left him open to be crucifix pinned by Priest. In frustration, Drew claymored Priest, which let Logan Paul eliminate him with a frog splash off the top rope. It seems Priest versus McIntyre is still the direction for Mania. It was also a smart idea to get Drew out of the chamber before Punk came in, as it would have diluted the Punk versus Seth hate. Punk came in next to eliminate Logan Paul, getting payback for the Rumble, and then it came down to Punk, Cena, and Seth, where Punk and Cena started working together to take out Rollins, including a version of the Hart Foundation's Heart Attack finisher, Canada! It took out Rollins for Punk and Cena to finally do what they didn't get to do at the Rumble. They parted like it was the early 2010s, playing their greatest hits of reversals, GTS into STF, STF into Anaconda Vice. Seth was powered by hate though, and he hit a pedigree and a stomp on Punk for near falls. Punk and Cena worked together again, hitting a GTS into an AA to get rid of Seth. Almost 14 years after Money in the Bank 2011, it was down to Cena and Punk over who gets to main event WrestleMania 41. Cena went to shake hands with Punk for a second time, but Punk pulled him into a GTS nearfall. Cena AA, nearfall. But with Punk in the ropes, Seth, still in the chamber, hit a stomp on his head. And this is where we should have seen the foreshadowing. The 1000th episode of Raw in 2012 was main evented by Cena vs Punk for the WWE title. Big Show beat up Cena behind the referee's back. Punk was conflicted. Should he heelishly capitalize, or should he tell an official? He chose to try to win the match. And by the end of that segment, he turned heel on who of all people? The Rock. Cena was faced with the same dilemma here, and he barely even thought about it. He pulled Punk inside the ring and made him pass out in the STF. John Cena wins the chamber and will get a shot against Cody Rhodes' WWE title, the chance to break the record and become the most decorated world champion of all time, according to WWE. Cena was celebrating when Cody's music hit. They shook hands, which teed up Rock, the Dwayne Johnson's entrance, now with his new valet, Grammy Award-winning musical artist Travis Scott. The Rock asked Cody for his soul, and Cody replied, "Go f*** yourself." That could have been enough. Cody dropping an uncensored Terry Funk in WWE was a crazily huge moment. We're on Netflix, baby! But there was another turn up the Rock's sleeves. If he ever wore sleeves, that is. He's mostly a vest with baby oil biceps. John Cena hugged Cody in celebration of the F word, but then his face immediately dropped behind Cody's back. The Rock gave him the throat slit gesture, and John Cena, 15 years too late, but better late than never, turned heel. He kicked Cody in the balls, beat him up in the head with his own watch, and blooded him, never once doing a signature move so the crowd wouldn't pop for him. I still can't believe I just said that. John Cena turned heel. The only thing's bigger as Stone Cold turning heel at WrestleMania X7, The Rock at Survivor Series 98, and most famously, Hulk Hogan forming the NWO at Bash at the Beach 1996. Four of the biggest WWE stars of all time have now had that huge, definitive heel turn. And it's the last comparison WWE leant most heavily into here, with The Rock, Cena, and weirdly Travis Scott beating up Cody like they were the modern-day Hogan, Hall and Nash. Cody was bleeding, and The Rock smeared his crimson over the weight belt with the date of Dusty Rhodes' death on. I'm in shock. I keep watching the moment to make sure it's not a dream. They've turned Cena heel in the last year of his career, setting him up for a Rock-Cena power trip, and Cena breaking the 16 world title record. Rock, you're an agent of chaos. You cut weird promos. You tried to gaslight me into thinking your movies are any good. But my God, you do pull it out the bag on the road to WrestleMania. Here's the hot take, folks. I know we had WrestleMania 40 Night 1 last year, but I think this is WWE's true Avengers Infinity War. The Sami vs KO match quality, the Cargill and Orton returns, and that all-time historic final segment. This is Levesque's perfected blend of NXT TakeOver and sports entertainment. Elimination Chamber 2025 is 100%. I mentioned Raw 1000 earlier. Luke and I are 4 episodes into our Rock vs John Cena series. We've done WrestleMania 27, Survivor Series 2011, WrestleMania 28, and Raw 1000 already, which are fascinating to revisit with the Rock and Cena stuff going on right now. We've got the Punk vs Rock headlined Royal Rumble 2013 up soon. Click the video on screen now to start catching up.